All right, guys, Sling has this bait. Oh, that's a nice fish. What in the world is living out there? Big fish. What's going on, everybody? Nick from 618 Fishing here, and welcome back to another fishing adventure. Today we are driving, you guys guessed it, 2 hours to fish a spillway, where on my last trip out there, I saw one of the biggest fish that I have ever seen. I am nervous, however, because this spot is very susceptible to drought, and we have had one of the driest summers that I can remember. So I am hoping there are still fish living there.
I know these thresholds can hold me down. Push through the crossroads and I hit the ground, yeah. No different picture, got a bigger frame. To find my place, I don't need a change.
We have finally made it to the spillway, and this water level is incredibly low. The spillway itself is actually cut off from the creek that it feeds into, but there is still water beneath it, which means there could still be fish. Let's start by tossing out a piece of cut bait on this Carolina rig.
And I chased as a river to the ends of the earth. But it won't battle my bones, it won't rattle my bones. Well, my soul is free on this wide open road. Now I'm bringing it home, now I'm bringing it home.
All right, guys, Sling has this bait. Oh, that's a nice fish. No way. What in the world is living out there? I was just trying to catch some fresh bait with a night crawler. Big fish. Oh, hope we get to see what this is. No way. Yes, that is incredible. Our first catch out of this stagnant spillway is a nice channel catfish. This dude put up an epic fight on the ultralight. He picked up a small piece of nightcrawler. That is so cool. This is one of the darkest channel catfish that I have ever caught. See you later, buddy. This is the bait that catfish picked up. I had this small piece of nightcrawler on this tiny J hook. I only brought frozen cut bait with me, so I'm hoping to get some fresh bait. And that guy found this bait before anything else could. Let's toss it back out there. Okay, Sling picked it up again. All right, I will take it. Fish number 2 is a small freshwater drum. This guy will make for some perfect fresh bait. I've got a piece of that drum rigged up weightless. Here we go. Fish number 3 is a tiny bluegill. Nothing has picked up the drum yet, so let's try using this bluegill as bait. There we go, fish on. Fish on the cut bait. I was not expecting this. Check it out, you guys. We just caught a largemouth bass with a piece of cut bait. That is so wild. I actually got that bait snagged on a retrieve. I let it sit out there and this guy found it. See you later, buddy. Although this spillway is essentially a concrete pit, it is very productive. So far, we've been able to catch 4 fish, and every single one of those fish was a different species. And we have finally caught our first duplicate species. Fish number 5 is another freshwater drum. We are set on bait, so let's go ahead and let this guy go. See you later, buddy. It has been a while since my last fish. Let's go ahead and do something that I've never been able to do at this spot because the water level was always too high. Let's explore downstream to where this spillway empties into a river to see if we can catch any fish there. I am currently walking in a dry creek bed. If I would have been standing in this exact spot this past spring, I would be up to my neck in water. But today it is almost completely dry. Holy cow, you guys. I was just walking across this dry creek bed and I just sunk about 2 feet in mud. That came out of nowhere. I did not think we were going to make it, but we have arrived at where that spillway empties into this river. I've wanted to fish this spot for a very long time, and today we finally have the opportunity to do so. Let's get some baits out there. All right guys, something has this bait. There we go. Fish on. Yes. We just caught a channel catfish. The funny thing is this guy looks very similar to the one that we caught in that concrete pit, but this guy was living in that muddy river. Awesome. See you later, buddy. All right, guys, I just released that catfish. Something picked up this bait. Well, not as exciting as that last fish, but I will take it. A tiny freshwater drum. See you later, buddy. We were finally able to catch another decent fish. That guy picked up this piece of bluegill. Let's toss it back out there.
Burn on, I'm shining so bright, lit up like a diamond in the dead of night. There's fire deep in my soul, I'ma rise up like the legends of old. Brighter than gold, brighter than gold.
Oh, there's the tape. All right, guys, Sling has this bait. There we go, fish on. This feels like a nice fish. No way, you guys. Yes, we just caught a flathead catfish. What an awesome surprise. This guy picked up a piece of bluegill. This guy has got an incredible pattern on him. He is super light because he's living out there in that muddy water, but he still looks very, very cool. See you later, buddy. Although that was not a giant flathead catfish, I do not catch them very often, and they are one of my favorite species of fish, so I'm always pumped when I'm able to land one. But overall, today was an excellent day of fishing. I believe we caught 5 different species of fish, and that drying up spillway was surprisingly thriving. Overall, I had a ton of fun. If you guys enjoyed this episode, I'd really appreciate it if you pop a thumbs up, possibly think about subscribing if you haven't. I'll catch you guys on the next one.
Burn on, I'm shining so bright, lit up like a diamond in the dead of night. There's fire deep in my soul, I'ma rise up like the legends of old.
Biggest catch of the day. We just caught a 5-foot long stickfish.